Well, my friends, welcome. This is Archangel. There is something that has been kind of gnawing at me for a while, and that is the flippant assertion that in life you get bad because you focus on bad. For it must be that divine exceptional unicorns exist out there if you would simply choose to see them. And so the glass half full shaming tactic thrust onto male empowerment goes like this. Male empowerment is tragically misled because they choose to focus on the negativity, on the selfish females, and the raw deals that males receive in this world, rather than see the goodness and purity in females or count their lucky stars for what they do have. There is this idea that floats around nearly every vein of human endeavor, from spirituality to business to sports to interpersonal relationships, etc., which is the notion that you attract what you focus on. It really has roots as a spiritual law, the law of attraction, which essentially states that what you focus your thoughts on, you manifest in reality. There was this self-help sensation that came out some years ago called The Secret, which capitalized on this idea. Basically, all variations of this core idea state that you attract to you what you think about. So if you constantly think about wealth and abundance, you seem to draw material goods and richness of experience to you. If you are constantly paranoid or worried about bad things, then you draw to you these bad things you spend your time worrying about. It's basically the saying that like attracts like. If you are generous, loving, and positive, you pull to you people and experiences that are also uplifting and enriching. Or if you are slimy, selfish, and malicious, then you draw to you people and events that mirror your output. There are many shysters that take this law of attraction, twist it, and package it to appeal to human greed. The Secret and many mainstream doppelgangers have you thinking about money or looking at pictures of stacks of money or luxury cars or 10,000 square foot mansions and focusing on material goods for self-enrichment. It takes the spiritual idea of dubious origin and bastardizes it into singular selfish egoic desires and pursuits. And so we have people thinking about winning the lottery so that they can be rich rather than use the proceedings to feed the poor. Legions of folks finding picture representations of every material or experiential thing that they want and pasting these pictures onto poster boards in order to hang on the wall in their room so that they may look at every day and focus their attentions and energies into manifesting such desires. We find variations of this theme of focus and manifestation everywhere. For example, there are other traditions that say, live with an attitude of gratitude, which essentially means focus on what you do have, which puts you in a mindset of, hey, I have all this stuff that I am thankful for. Wow, I really am blessed. I am rich. And this is an abundance mindset, which, according to the law of attraction, you think abundance, you receive abundance. In business and sports, such concepts have been springboards for all great accomplishments. Indeed, Henry Ford said, "Whether you believe you can do a thing or not, you are right." I have seen it many times in the gym. If a guy psychs himself up and says he will lift such and such weight, he usually does. And I've seen other guys who have psyched themselves up for the lift, yet exclaimed some form of doubt just before the attempt, and more often than not, they would fail. Focus on and believe in what you want, and you shall achieve it. This is a tenet in nearly every facet of human existence, and I am sure everybody has witnessed some semblance of this mantra in their own life, where they really wanted or needed something, and they thought about it over and over. They prayed about it, they talked about it, they intensely focused on it, and by miraculous machinations, it came to pass. This is called a synchronicity, when you are thinking about something and suddenly it manifests. I can also tell you that many people have intensely focused on a thing, yet not received what they needed or desired, in which case you get told that it was your fault when you were troubleshooting your failure to win the lottery. You were not focusing intensely enough. You were not feeling the emotion of receiving that thing. You thought you were focusing on it, but you were really focusing on your lack of it, which only attracted more lack. You were still harboring doubt somewhere. I mean, you get the same blame game that religion gives you when God doesn't answer your prayers. Oh, you didn't ask earnestly. You are sinful. You didn't pay your church their rightful tithes this month. You know the drill. Whenever something good happens, it's God's doing. When it doesn't happen, it's your fault. Everyone will say that you have to fully commit. You cannot stop at the edge of the cliff. You have to run and jump off, fully believing and expecting to fly, or sprout a parachute or manifest a jetpack. And so, there is this notion that life offers everything possible. It is a buffet of every imaginable experience, and your personal experience is determined by what you focus on. There is beauty and fun, as well as pain and ugliness, existing simultaneously. Hence, what you pay attention to drives your experience, and thus your opinions of this life. So, one person may say the world is full of pain and suffering and injustice, while another may say it is full of love and opportunity and enjoyment. And the paradox is that both platitudes are right. The experience of living in squalor in the ghetto is as valid as living in luxury in ivory towers. If you are inclined to see ugliness in the world, then ugliness is your experience. And if you look for good in all, then goodness is your experience. Moreover, we are told that mass consciousness promotes mass events. When large numbers of people who are programmed with fear porn, such as news programs, turn their attentions to the ugliness and negativity of life, this mass focus on negative precipitates more negative, such as war or cataclysm. The reverse is also applicable, where mass meditation on positivity or peaceful thoughts brings about harmony. The problem with all this think and change your experience stuff is, where does justice and objective reality fit in? I mean, if we really are creating our own little worlds by thought, by what we choose to focus on, then we would never interact with another person, since their reality bubble and ours would never be the same, nor even similar enough to mesh and form an independent reality for everyone that was agreeable to everyone. Because if everyone was thinking or focusing their reality into existence, everyone would want to be rich and beautiful. And those people that say they wouldn't, who claim the moral high ground of avoiding the greed and narcissism that accompanies extreme wealth or beauty, still, at the very least, these people will choose to fashion a reality for themselves where they were comfortable and contented. In a word, happy. Nobody would want to be hurting, or poor, or destitute, or handicapped, or deformed, or mistreated. Plus, when we are the architects of our own worlds, then there is no need for justice, for you are the cause of your suffering, and you can change it by changing your focus, right? Don't worry, justice is just a concept that does not apply to the suffering of children or poverty, or the hardships of war, or the mistreatment of males. There are no innocents. They are all doing it to themselves, in their own little reality bubbles of their design, that never interact with others, since everyone is off in their own little bubble, having their own individualized experience. Yeah, but you see, we do interact with other flesh and blood people every day, and we experience suffering and mistreatment and betrayal by others against our wishes, which seems to strongly suggest that we are not creating nor controlling our reality, nor the players in it. And so there must be some independent reality that encompasses both pain and pleasure. A larger picture that houses this buffet of life, which includes both rainbow sprinkles and the instruments of torture. A grander stage that simultaneously contains both the experiences of the ghetto baby and the silver spoon baby. And since there must be a grander reality than what we pretend the world is when we think about fluffy kittens and lottery winnings, this means that there are some things out of our control, which creates room for inequity to occur against a person's will or desires. And this means that malice does occur independent of a person's thoughts or intentions. And so injustice does occur outside of one's mental focus. Now, that being said, if there is an independent reality that we are all subjected to, then where is the justice for the innocent child born in squalor? Does that child simply manifest what it sees as it grows, which produces more poverty and suffering for that child? Do the hurting and miserable simply focus on pain and that's why they hurt? Does self-pity lead to emotional suffering? Well, perhaps to a point, but then how are we supposed to know anything about this realm? I mean, where is the life manual that instructs us on how life and energy work? Being thrust into a game without memory or instruction manual is a load of crap and an injustice in itself. Entering this dimension in such a fashion is not being tested by some grand deity. This is being tortured. Whew, okay, so I said all that I might say this. Male devaluation and disposability exist. There is an independent, joint human reality which surrounds all the dark clouds or shiny rainbows that people focus on. There is an independent meat grinder that churns out male meat patties, no matter what joyous images or concepts of divine female virtue that males try to focus on. Many will say that men's rights, or MGTOW, focus on the negative side of females. They inflate the slander of a few selfish chicks, or they choose to focus on the negative side of relationships. And so obviously, they will continue to see negativity in females and attract psycho chicks to them. Whereas, if you just think about goodness and female benevolence and harmonious relationships, then you will draw the good to you. Wow, really? That's it? Guys have been the problem all along. Well, guys are always the problem. So you mean to tell me that guys simply need to think pretty thoughts about females and not think about the mistreatments and life will be cotton candy and shiny bows? Well, holy cow, what an epiphany. Okay, let me see if I have this straight. You're saying focus on good thoughts and peaceful interactions, and then you can turn crocodiles into loving house pets? Well, golly gee. Oh yes, this is all intriguing and fluffy bunny, but it is an ass-backwards load of pig farts. Because males grow up, blue pill. They start off thinking and believing that females are goodness and love. Males all throughout their childhood and adolescence focus on females as pure and harmonious. Then they go into marriage, believing that females are wholesome and altruistic, that she is benevolent and will never do him wrong, for better or for worse, till death do us part. I mean, that's what she said, right? Males already have good thoughts about female nature and female intention. And guess what happens? Despite his belief in her as good, or his focusing on her as female, and females as salvation, despite millions upon millions of males focusing on her as right, she inevitably does him wrong and dumps his ass or takes him to the cleaners or merely becomes passive-aggressive and emotionally neglectful or abusive. Well, what happened there? Males believed in good and they got bad. Yet, despite the offenses many males experience at the hands of females, most will carry on, still believing in the female sex as good and mercy incarnated, and hold on to the image of a special one in their mind's eye. And so, as they embark upon a quest to seek this special one, they entangle themselves with one female after another, and then they bounce from chick to chick throughout their life, looking for that feminine goodness, that feminine altruism, that feminine benevolence that they think about, that they truly believe with all their heart and soul. The male collective is doing all the right things. They are holding positive thoughts and glass-half-full images regarding females, despite blatant mistreatment. And so, according to the law of attraction, if they focus on females as good, they should attract only good, benevolent females and harmonious, joyful, romantic scenarios into their lives, right? Yet, most males get the opposite time after time. Females that are there to usurp from dudes, not enrich them with joy and fulfillment or bliss or ecstasy or any number of other happy catchwords peppered generously throughout motivational seminars. So, what the hell? Males think good and get bad. They pretend benevolence and get malevolence. That's not what's supposed to happen. Oh, guys must be doing it all wrong, huh? You silly baboons. Do MGTOW promote and create male disposability by focusing on female negativity and social inequity towards themselves? Such proponents of think and manifest will argue that since we are dealing in negativity, which means focusing on it through observation, then repeating it through our words, that yes, we are perpetuating negativity, rather than holding hands in a circle and singing odes to female divinity and holding thoughts of female healing in our minds. Well, guess what? Somebody has to deal with the slop in order to save others from it. Awakening Males promotes positivity by warning others of the wolf in sheep's clothing. We help to awaken people from this illusion of individually inflicted nirvana or Hades by pointing out the large umbrella of reality in which they exist, a place where prayer and good intentions do not pay the tolls. Instead, there must be fuel to feed the machine, and males are that fuel. So, while everybody is busy focusing on happy thoughts of pretty ponies and winning the lottery, meanwhile there is a deeper reality in which we are slaves to corporations, to governments, and most especially to female welfare, gynocentrism. The matrix is comprised of illusions that give us comfort. The foods, the holidays, the fake kisses and fleeting orgasms, the religions or paradigms of hope. Just follow our rules and you will receive God's love and mercy. Just focus on what you want and it will manifest. Make lemons into lemonade. And belying fluffy clouds is the reality that energy is drained from us as we are caught up in superficiality or individual illusion. Once males see these illusions, the world will then practice damage control and shame males who were once believers in female benevolence, yet received suffering for their efforts. And so these males will hear, well, you have to play the hand that you were dealt. Meaning, be thankful for what you got and look at the blessings within turmoil. Appreciate adversity, for it causes growth. Pain causes character gain. Count your many blessings, blah blah, fluffy bunny, blah blah. In other words, man the hell up. It could be worse than alimony or child support, worse than false rape allegations or criminal sentencing discrepancy, worse than affirmative action or circumcision. I mean, come on, at least you're alive, right? Yeah, well, until war breaks out or disaster happens, or some female needs rescuing from an assailant, then you are disposable for her welfare. I'm sorry, focus on the good part of, what again? Okay, so, independent reality, the truth goes a little something like this. Because of reproductive biology, males are made to be disposable because they do not have offspring gestation tools, namely uterus and mammaries. Next, we devalue males to morally justify the injustice of their inherent disposability. That is where we find ourselves. Well, golly, there sure seems to be as many holes as a screen door in all this think and grow rich or happy or beautiful stuff. All this ask and ye shall receive talk. All this focus and achieve paradigms of everything from sports to entrepreneurship to religion. So please, be so kind as to tell me what part of joy and happiness and fulfillment are males not focusing on? What home and hearth beliefs are males failing to hold in their minds which causes their wholesale disparagement and expendability in objective reality? What are little boys not thinking about which causes their mistreatment by classmates, teachers, parents, the world, who shows preference for little girls? What exactly are males doing wrong when they grow up and wed themselves thinking that females are goodness and salvation, thinking that this is the right thing to do, which will bring fulfillment and happiness? What are males doing or not doing to cause themselves misery in this place that has plenty of happiness and joy and benevolent altruistic females to go around? Yeah, please. Now, on another level, mass consciousness and focus may precipitate incremental changes, not through magic, but through awareness and action. For example, if masses of males focused on devaluation and disposability, they might refuse to enable it. And that action would cause a wide-scale experiential shift, in much the same way that as feminism gripped females, and as they focused on the entitlements that they could extract, they became more and more zealous. In effect, they became aware, and they took action, and it is no doubt that feminism has caused a mass experiential shift on this planet, starting in the Western world and now trickling to all corners of the globe, connected by technology. This law of attraction thing, by and large, is just a joke to sell fuzzy ideas to people that have selfish ends, not to bless the world, but rather to become one of the elite who enjoys most of the frivolities and hedonisms of this world, because they can afford it, even as poverty goes on all around them. There may be some inverse, as yet unknown mechanism going on here, that you can think and pretend things in your own mind, and perhaps you can even really focus on something and have a synchronicity event happen in your life, where someone or something shows up just when you need it. Yet, there is the horse crap side where you wish and hope and pray with all your might, only to be disappointed. Let's think about this. Do you think the Jewish populations of Germany or Poland spent their time and thoughts on Nazi occupation? Did the citizenry of Hawaii focus on invasion and manifest Pearl Harbor? Do loving fathers and good husbands manifest a ruthless divorce and having their kids ripped from them? Do children bring about abuse or slavery or molestation or continued poverty because they focus on fear and negativity rather than cotton candy and kitty cats? Does the collective male populace cause the abuse females inflict upon them because dudes are too busy thinking about female malice rather than imagining female benevolence? Are guys causing feminism, male devaluation, political correctness, manginas and white knights because they are jaded, gay, juvenile geeks and ugly losers who want everyone to be miserable with them, and so they have daily meditations where they think about and focus on the most negative female actions that they possibly can? Really? Are you kidding me? Guys do the exact opposite. They believe in female altruism and focus on female benevolence. Males are programmed and brainwashed into believing in females as good. Then they get mistreated, and even though males get a bucket of crap, they still believe in the cream rising. So males are doing everything right, yet they are getting the opposite result. What does that tell you? Duh, males would love females to be exactly what males pretend that they are, caring and loving and appreciative of males and male welfare. And you can see that males go on believing and focusing on females as goodness, as evidenced by their continued pursuit of females. They intend to find that special unicorn they hold a candle for in their heads. So life is a smorgasbord of good and bad, pleasant and unpleasant, ugliness and beauty, and your experience is defined by what you choose to pay attention to. And this is why so many say MGTOW choose to focus in on the unpleasant aspects of life, such as feminism or males' inherent disposability, instead of focusing on the colorful balloons and chocolate-dipped corn dogs in this existence. And then, when you complain about life's inequities, people like to shame you with adversity comparisons. Yeah, you're complaining about a paper cut when Joe over there has more injuries than you can count, has lived through poverty and career ruination, and look at him, he's happy to be alive. Meaning, suck it up, you sad little narcissistic pity party pussy. The bigger picture goes like this. We have a reality where injustice is the rule of the day, the modus operandi, which keeps the status quo trucking along. That status quo is, of course, that males are slaves and disposable utilities. So we have this matrix of illusion that surrounds us and fools us into believing that all is well, that females are special and benevolent, and that there are special divine cosmic bonds between male and female. So males toil and labor under this facade of family happiness and female goodness. Then, when one or more individuals begin to see inconsistencies and discrepancies in the walls of this illusion, there are countermeasures of mitigation. First, we seek to program them further with more fairy tales that goodness surrounds them. Goodness is what this world and existence are all about, and overwhelming joy, wealth, and abundance are waiting for you right now. All you have to do is focus on goodness long enough with total intensity, and it will be yours. So you set people on a wild goose chase for the rest of their lives. Then, when some of these individuals get burnt out on dreaming of beauty yet getting nothing but ugliness in life, then secondary measures of shame paint you as weak or whiny. You have to play the hand you're dealt. Live with an attitude of gratitude. When life deals lemons, make lemonade. Count your many blessings. Look at the glass half full. Find the silver lining in the thundercloud. We have all heard such oft-repeated euphemisms that basically acknowledge ugliness as the overarching reality, and thus counsel people to endure torment by finding the good in the bad. Now, while it is true that everything is relative in value to the person observing it, two people can look at rain, and one might see aggravation and annoyance, while the other might see fun and nourishment to the earth. And indeed, focusing on the bright side or the gloomy side of any situation can affect the mood and outlook of the observer. But still, essentially, such sunny catchphrases are invoked to quiet down those who cry foul in life. Be thankful for what you have, could be worse. Look at so-and-so. They have it worse than you, and they are still cheerful, so suck it up and turn misery and injustice into glitter and fruit punch. Oh yes, much trickery and shame goes into the illusion and keeping the illusion going. And then, many shaming tactics are involved when you speak up. Male devaluation only exists because that's what you focus on. Think about romance and female altruism, and you will manifest this into your life. Just believe. Then, after some years of that nonsense, fine, okay, well, maybe male expendability is reality, but hey, look at the bright side. Who wants to live forever? Boring. Might as well die protecting pretty chicks. Come on, make your life mean something. I mean, sure, there is horrific mistreatment of males, but look at the glass half full. At least dudes won't blow extra money on booze or mischief, since all their extra money now goes to the ex-wife. And at least he won't have the annoyance of having to clean that extra few inches on his body since his foreskin was ripped away when he was at his most helpless state. At least he will get to stay longer at the county motel than a female convicted of the same crime. At least he will get to see the world when he gets selected into the draft. At least you're losing a possible job to some female because the company is filling a quota. Besides, she's probably somebody's mother or special daughter, and she needs the job more than you. At least you are earning your place in heaven by servicing God's special angels on earth. Females. See, it's all how you look at it. Guys are not mistreated and disposed of. They live like kings, and the world is their oyster. And if you do not have your oyster yet, just focus on it and believe it, and you will manifest Eden on earth. Focus on positive, and you will get positive. Well, except that no matter how fluffy bunny males think themselves, they are still disposable and worth less than females in objective, independent reality. But what do I know?
Now get out there and take life by the short and curlies. If you can dream it, you can do it. The sky's the limit. Time is
My
money.
friends,
Be thankful.
stand
Live
with
an
me,
attitude of
live
gratitude.
free.
Be thankful. You are the one holding yourself back. Ask and ye shall receive. Think of the glass as half full. Look at the bright side. Could be worse. Be thankful for what you have. Play the hand you were dealt. Happiness and abundance is a choice. You can do anything you set your mind to. You get what you focus on.